are Meiteis getting ST status?
Okay, before I answer your question, Kartikeya, I'll just give you a rundown as to what has transpired in the Supreme Court today. Okay, the hearing started with the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, who appears for the Manipur government, filing a status report. Now, this status report has been filed on various aspects. Number one, he gave details of all the relief camps that have been established in the state. Number two, he spoke about the compensation package which is being extended by the Manipur government to the people, those who have died and displaced. Number three, the status report talks about the security measures which are being taken by the state government on the ground to prevent any further deterioration of law and order situation. Number five, he's spoken about how people, those who are stranded in the state of Manipur, are being transported. Registration of FIRs, details of that have also been given, and how the government is taking measures to recover arms from the antisocial elements who are perpetrating violence on the ground. Now, this is what the status report says. Now, while the status report was being tabled, the petitioners, who belong to a tribe other than the Meiteis, made various allegations against the Manipur government, and especially the Manipur Chief Minister, and very serious and grave allegation. The allegation are that there is an apprehension on the part of the petitioners that some villages in the days to come will be attacked, and the Manipur police is siding with the assailants. Number two, the Chief Minister of Manipur has asked the army to stand off from providing security cover to these villages. Now, this is the sum and substance of what transpired. Now, as far as the judges are concerned, there was a oral observation where Chief Justice of India said that we believe that the Manipur High Court order needs to be stayed. Now, this is which order? The order of the Manipur High Court that granted scheduled tribe status or asked the central government to recognize Meiteis as scheduled tribes. Solicitor General, who appears for the Manipur government, also informed the Supreme Court, saying that, look, in the last few days, a few things have happened. We have filed an appeal in the High Court itself before a bench of 2 judges against the order of 27th March. Now, he said that the bench which heard our appeal and our interim application, they have put or deferred the execution of the judgment of 27th March by a year, which means that the whole idea of Manipur government asking central government to recognize Meiteis as scheduled tribes has been kept on the back burner for a year. The solicitor said that this was being done by the Manipur government, taking into account the violence that is taking place on the ground. The solicitor said that if we had asked for a stay, it would have further inflamed the situation on the ground. So what we did was not ask for a stay, but for a deferment of the execution of the judgment for a year. Now that has happened. Situation is limping back to normalcy. It's limping. It's not returned to normalcy, it's limping back to normalcy. There are areas and places which have to be attended. There are issues that have to be addressed. So, the Supreme Court, in its final order, has said that, look, we agree that now the matter is before the Manipur High Court. The matter will be heard by the division bench on 6th of June. We believe all those issues would be best addressed now by the Manipur High Court, but at the same time, we'll keep this petition pending in the Supreme Court. If the petitioners and other people have any grievances, they can come back to us and tell us. Last, one more thing. In the end, the Supreme Court said that various apprehensions have been raised in the Supreme Court with respect to attacks on villages in the days to come. We are directing the Manipur government and the district administration to look into these allegations or apprehensions that have been expressed and provide security cover. So that takes care of the apprehensions which have been expressed by the petitioners. Manipur government says that this is no time for politics. Let's focus on peace and tranquility. But the situation on the ground still continues to be very volatile.
Dr. Hauke, your first comment on what the discussions which have taken place in Supreme Court of India, sir?
Yeah, that is a very careful and very wise in the sense that they have read into the situation, and deferment is the best solution. Within this 1 year, I think we can have political talk, but definitely some solution has to be there so that in terms of in terms of political decentralization. Otherwise, I think this is not going to go down. People are right now, the mood of people right now is that unless there is a political solution, we are not going back to Imphal. So the cookies going back to Imphal is not something that is that has to be taken very easily. It's a situation of life and death now. So the police, they were just onlookers when they cry for help to protect their life and their property. So how will they trust the police and the commandos now? So that's a very dire situation. So that has to be taken carefully.
Samit, there are two issues which we are taking up today, which is Arambai Tenggol and the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has, is reflecting the larger anxiety of the community. Our legal editor was telling us that a lot of anxieties were reflected, and today tribal MLAs are meeting in Aizawl and not in Imphal.
Yeah, and they are supposed to meet even Mizoram Chief Minister Zoramthanga, and not only tribal MLAs, not tribal MLAs, there are 10 Naga tribe MLAs who are not part of it, only 10 key MLAs. They are meeting, supposed to meet even Zoramthanga, Mizoram Chief Minister, and the civil society organizations of Mizoram. Similarly, another consultative meeting is being held in Aizawl between civil society organizations of Kuki areas of Manipur and civil society organizations of Mizoram. So this will add a new dimension to the conflict, because already we have seen in some Kuki villages the posters being put up demanding greater Mizoram, so which will include part of the Kuki areas of Manipur. So already Manipur is facing similar demand in Naga areas of the state, where Nagas are demanding greater Nagalim, comprising Naga dominated areas of the state.
Hasina, what will be the impact of the judgment? Supreme Court observation? Can you please unmute yourself?
I think the Supreme Court, I would say the directive will need to be more non-biased, and I think the state will need to look in context to all the tribes' representations in terms of what the restoration of peace and how this trust can be rebuilt. I also want to emphasize another aspect. I think the poppy plantation issues that has been mentioned over and over again over the last 1 week. I think the communities, because we from the organization Impulse NGO Network for the last 2 years has been working on food security, food plantation, multiple cropping of both the communities from across the borders and the host communities in the hills, in the borders, where this has actually emphasized at this moment our state partner at the ground, the New Life Foundation, Pishak Singh, is actually taking forward all the growth, all the food stuff that has been growing and distributing to all the people who are needing food security at this moment. So I think that also needs to be taken into account, that these communities at the moment are supporting food security from an existing program that has been going on for 2 years in the 300 acre of land that has been provided in paths of peace resolution they need to come forward to tell the world that they are also helping one another in this kind of chaos and violence. So we also have to have the voice from the ground. These kind of voices are not coming. We are providing the debate on the violence, but there's also the other path that both the communities are also helping each other when it comes to food security at this moment.